There's some excitement, again, as always, at the beginning of the year. There's some guys that have left that were very, very good football players. There are guys that need to replace them, that need to play well, and we're looking forward to it. You got Christian O replacing Scotty Sicko. You got Devin Jackson stepping in for Sean Weir. Sean Jellison stepping in for Chad Cackert. Chris Zarkowski stepping in for Tommy Neal. You got a different bunch of guys that are here, and that's what makes coaching each year different, a lot of fun, and looking forward to coaching those guys.
You talked a little bit about the losses. In general, I think there's a lot of buzz going on about the quarterbacks. What are your thoughts right now in that position?
We got two good quarterbacks, and we're blessed to have them. We're a fortunate situation. R.J. Tolman is our starter. He has started, a lot of games over the last couple of years. He's won 20 games in 2 years. Not a lot of players in the country can say that. The thing that's really good about it is that in the spring, Kevin Decker performed very, very well. Narrowed the gap between RJ and him. What it does for us is gives us an opportunity to have great competition, and then the other thing it does for us is gives an opportunity to have two good football players playing that position.
I'd say statistically probably Tolman maybe had a down year per se last year compared to the year that he had before. What do you think about him coming in this year and the talent that's around him? Can he come back to that level, or? Oh,
I think there's three factors that gotta really be considered when you talk about performance. One, first of all, it's offensive line. You got to look at it. We had a lot of young starters over there. We got a couple new guys in there this year, but they were young. Two, some injury things. RJ had some turf toe things, or they had a high ankle sprain at one time, played through them all. The third thing is that, he had to go back and learn to relax and take what people give us, and get the ball to people in the open spaces. When he played well, and I go back to the McNeese game where he had probably the best game of the year, he got the ball to people in different spots, different things, and we scored 49, 50 points against a pretty good team, and we did it in the right ways. That's what he's got to go back to doing.
Now, in terms of the offense in general, who do you think could step up this year as a receiver? Sicko, obviously, a huge part of the offense last year in the receiving end. So I'm going to
start with Terrence Fox. A kid that started a couple years ago. It's back in the program. He's our starting ace. He's a dynamic player with the ball in his hands. He's got a spark. He can run it. He can catch it. And then I like the looks of Christian O. I know what that kid can do. I want to tell you, it's a lot like what happened when Ricky left and RJ was taken over. I felt good because there was a great player that left the program, but there was somebody in the program that I felt could take his place. RJ didn't disappoint. I don't think Chris will.
This program more or less has built its staple on offense. At least that's how it kind of came up the last couple of years. But defensively, I think the last couple of years, you guys have really shown it. This year looks like another story of that again. What are your thoughts on the defense?
Well, I think it all starts with the front. And the front seven guys, and you look up front, and you got Steve Young and Brian McNally to anchor the defensive tackle and defensive end position. At linebacker, you got Devin Jackson. Now we got to find another guy to step in. I think John Duffy's ready to do it. I think Matt Evans is ready to do it. I think Alan Busby's ready to do it. There's three guys there. I think at the defensive end position, we got two kids that are young that are replacing Kyle Maroney and Kevin Peters, who started a lot of games for us, and people don't realize how many games they did. But I'm excited about James Jenkins. I'm excited about Bilal Colbert to have that opportunity to do it. The other kid up front that's really got to come in and do it, two kids I think big, Johnny Murray, who's put on added weight, he's up to 285 right now, and then Lance Mayu, who's had the whole spring off and rested his knee. So those guys are the guys that defensively got to start and keep doing it for us up front.
And probably the last question here, CAA, obviously big, good conference, in this league, and when we're playing. What are your thoughts on the outlook on the other teams? Obviously, JMU is pretty good, and all those other teams have given you trouble. What are your thoughts in general?
Each week there's another series of challenges, and wherever we're playing, whether it's Maine, Rhode Island, James Madison, Richmond, Nova, William & Mary, any of those schools, kids got to understand that they have to be prepared week in and week out to fight these type of battles, which are the toughest league in the conference against the toughest competition, the best coaching. So we got to take it one day at a time, win the day type of thing.